when I need you most. We got love guaranteed, and I have to know. Say,
hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello. I was just about to take a sip of this. Wrong moment.
Take it. Go ahead. I think I hate my boyfriend. April, 32 female, him, 36 male. We have been together for 9 years, and I cannot fathom another year with him. Our whole sounds like you.
I can't do it. Me at Javae's house every time.
Off the balcony I go. Our relationship, he hasn't been able to hold a job. Oof. Our whole relationship, he hasn't been able to hold a job. He's had 12-ish jobs in the 9 years we've been together. I've had 3. He calls in for every little thing. Just some of the excuses I've heard. 1, I'm too tired. 2, I'm emotionally unstable.
Ooh.
3, I have a migraine. 4, I don't feel good. 5, your car wouldn't start. Your car. Not my car.
Your car.
I got it jumped, but didn't want to go in at that point. Not I got it running and I still didn't go. It's giving me at 19. I gotta stay here for 3 hours to make sure the battery doesn't die and up. Stop.
I'm fucking crying.
It's my dead relative's birthday. It's the anniversary of my dead relative's death. I thought you would need me today. Spotify isn't working.
Spotify isn't working.
How much do you have to hate someone to start a list? How much?
Oh, you're well on your way. You're well on your way. You're well
Some
on
of
your
these
way.
I find legit, but to explain the scale of the calling out, let me give off numbers. He's had 13 shifts scheduled this month. He missed 6 of them. 6. Literally half. Why is there only 13 scheduled shifts for the month is my second question.
He wasn't making no bread anyway, honey.
And that's just since I started counting. Today's the 10-year anniversary of my own mother's death, but it's his late father's birthday. So he called out again. After spending all of yesterday promising me he'd go to work, I'm expected to put aside my grief and pain to heal his. He lied to me about his job status so much I now feel the need to check his phone to fact check him. I don't believe him when he says anything. There's always some excuse. My sister went missing for a few hours. I told him, and the first thing he did after I stopped crying was attempted to call off for his shift the next day. She hadn't even been gone 24 hours, and he was using my pain to get out of working. He said it was to support me. I firmly believe it had nothing to do with me. He cancels his plans with his friends. He cancels our D&D nights more often than he shows up to them. He doesn't have any friends left because they're all sick to death of the excuses, and so am I. I really loved him. Past tense. I thought this was it for me. Now I can't even look at him. I'm so resentful, it's giving me heartburn. Rent would be more than half my income, but I'm afraid of this angry, seething, vibrating feeling he gives me. I think I hate him. I'm preparing to kick him out.
Wait, go back. Read that sentence again. Angry, seething what?
Vibrating feeling he gives me.
She hates that man. Holy shit.
Hates him. How is he coming up with half a rent?
Selling dick.
Slanging it.
I think I hate him.
Sorry.
I'm preparing to kick him out. He'll have no car, no job, no apartment, no friends, no girlfriend. Rock bottom. And he has handouts the whole fucking way down. I hope this makes him figure it out.
Break up with him. You don't like him. Just off that. Yeah?
Can I? Okay. Also, I want to comment on the fact that you guys have been together for 9 years and you're 32. So that means you guys got together when you were 23.
Your whole life.
Do you know how amazing someone would have to be for me to basically only have one serious relationship my whole life? It's not this guy.
It ain't this one, honey.
It's not this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I would be curious if he would move out if she asked him to. I don't think he would.
No.
He has too much to lose. I think he's going to fight for it tooth and nail.
The
Losers
one who has
love
more
to fight for their relationship.
The one who has more to lose knows it.
Always.
But they don't act like it until it's being like taken away from them.
Also, he has to know that we all know he wasn't calling off for her that day that her sister went missing because she literally wants him as far away from the house as possible.
Exactly.
She does not want his support.
The thing that would make her feel better is him going to work.
Yes.
Which of these excuses are you truly okay with?
My answer to this is I would accept 1 through 8 if it happened occasionally. It's the frequency that's the problem. Like, you get to just be like, you know, like whatever. You could have I'm a millennial, have your mental health day once in a while or whatever the thing is. I would honestly prefer the first one, like I'm too tired, just be honest, or I don't feel good or I don't want to, than all the other shit. Like, it's the bullshitting actually that's annoying to me.
Well, and the thing that's annoying about all of them is that, like, half of them kind of, like, a bunch of them have to do with her or, like, problems that she needs to, it sounds like that he's expecting her to solve is the way that she's writing it.
By the way, people on YouTube are like, the girl, because every time I cut the clips, you're on the bottom, and they're like, the girl on the bottom is surprisingly comfortable with racism.
and am. That's the clip. I am completely comfortable with racism. Okay, I'm starting. He, 25 male, destroyed our apartment. Advice needed. The advice is to leave again. I, 26-year-old female, have been with my boyfriend, 25-year-old male, for about 2 years. Last weekend, we got into a big fight, mainly due to financial issues. I've been working 2 jobs mainly to pay off debt a bit faster. Soon after, he lost his job and hasn't been able to keep one for reasonable and unreasonable reasons for 5 months. He found a job a week ago. We've been fighting about what he does in his time while he's unemployed, and this has caused several arguments. This weekend, I was fed up with the state of our relationship, and an argument began. During the argument, he screamed at the top of his lungs, refused to let me leave, put holes in the wall, broke several doors. It's never gotten to this level before. Oh, he was waiting. The worst that's ever happened is he broke a doorknob from grabbing it too hard. That's wild. I knew he had...
How fucking mad do you have to be to break a doorknob from grabbing it
That's
too hard?
That's insane. I knew he had anger issues, but it never really came out until last weekend. Huh?
That doesn't make any sense.
At all.
How did you know he had anger issues, but you didn't see it? You didn't know the extent of his anger.
They weren't towards her.
They probably were. You don't go from 0 to this.
That's true. I called my sister, 30-year-old female, because he was breaking things. Her and my mom called the police to do a wellness check. I called his mom as well to calm him down, which she did successfully, but he wasn't happy about it. The police came in and talked to us and left soon after.
Pause. There's no fucking way that calling somebody else's mom and snitching on them is going to make them calm down. That is the biggest escalation. I don't care what he's pretending to do on the phone with his mom. That's going to bite you in the ass later. He
will never forgive you.
I've got some experience with that.
You.
Did you forgive?
Fuck no.
Yep.
Yeah. Fuck no, never, ever.
Yep. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, never, ever. The police came and talked to us and left soon after. At that point, I was really upset because the damages would come out of our deposit and we weren't in the best financial position and I'm tired. That was it, bitch? I mean, I would be pissed about that too.
I just want you to know that you've been in this relationship long enough that there's a new normal to you because that is not the fucking problem.
Thank you.
That is not the problem.
As soon as I read it, I was like, oh, honey, you have bigger issues than this.
You are in it. And so you don't know how crazy this
Your body's
is.
like, we're fine.
Oh, the money. Bitch, he just threatened you. When someone's breaking things around you, punching holes in walls, they're letting you know that you're next without saying it. That is absolutely what they want you to know. Is this could be you, and you should be grateful it's not, because next time it will be.
It's a choice. They're making a choice to not hit you. After everything was said and done, we talked. Of course you did. He's been going through mental health issues due to people who have passed away, being away from family, and our relationship issues, and he hasn't been taking his medication. I just want to say that we should have brought the book on for this episode. Clearly, the holy grail of like abuse books.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Lundy.
Mr. Lundy. He set up couples counseling for us. Oh my God, I can't continue with this. Promised this wouldn't happen again, would make changes, stay in his medication, and pay for damages.
Pause. There's no amount of grief that should result in you holding him accountable and him doing that. As somebody whose dad died, cut the shit. Be fucking for real. Be fucking for real. And I believe that some people have anger and they need to rage. Mm-hmm. And he could have left the house. Could have walked out of the house. He could have screamed on the phone. He could have screamed in a pillow. He could have went in the basement. He could have done so many things to express his anger without scaring the shit out of you. Yep. He did that shit on purpose. Yep. Be fucking for real. Oh, he didn't take his Lexapro? He's fucking fine.
So his dick was flaccid for 24 hours. Give me a fucking break.
This guy's giving me the that was the old me vibe. Like, you know, like one of the guys who says it like an hour later.
I used to be like this.
Yeah. But like an hour later.
Yes.
Me, baby.
I can't even do the rest of this. We're so close to done. I believe him, but a lot of trust is gone, and we need to move from our apartment next month. Oh, they gotta.
We need to move from your apartment, or when your lease ends, you are moving from the apartment.
Right. I don't really want to move in with him after he kind of destroyed this one.
Kinda?
Oh, honey.
Baby girl.
My mom and sister don't want me to continue dating him because they worry about him abusing me. He's never hit me. Duh, bitch.
It's next.
Sorry, that was rude.
No, it wasn't rude. It's next.
His lack of concern while destroying our apartment and his financial and anger problems. I'm a bit scared of change, but I'm wondering if this is blinding me from doing what's right for me. Can everybody just say yes? Gabe, say yes.
Yes.
Okay. I do love him, and I think he can grow from this, but I don't know. Trust that I don't know. Any advice is appreciated.
I think he could grow from this, and the only way he's going to grow from it is by losing you.
Yeah.
That's the only way he would have any growth or thing is like, oh shit, this behavior is not okay. It has consequences. That's the catch-22 when somebody is abusive like this or treats you like shit. It's the only way they'll learn from it is if you never talk to them again. That's it. You have to leave.
You have to.
Mental health is not an excuse. It's
just not.
It's not an excuse. There's
just
nothing, there's no mental illness except maybe like psychosis. Like I was hallucinating and I thought that you were trying to kill me, which then we should be hospitalized. Like I can't think of any mental illness where you're in reality that makes it okay.
That's the one. If you're saying you're unstable, that you're all these things, or maybe, I don't know if he's saying that, but like he's clearly like, I need help, we need counseling.
And we don't need couples.
You need anger management and you need to work with an abuse counselor or just any counselor or whatever it is. Do some shit for you, not us.
And
she should also go to therapy though.
She should go to therapy. And I don't know what the relationship you have with your mommy and your sister is, but like if you're not sure whether or not you want to give up on this relationship, maybe don't sign a new lease with him, move in with a family member and date him for the next year and see if you guys can make it work. Like if you're in this kind of like, you know, I'm always the one like harm reduction even with dating, right? So like my advice is don't do it. But if you're going to do it, don't lock yourself in legally with him. Harm reduction.
Harm reduction always.
You know, I do that with all my friends too.
Literally, you can do these are some of the soft options.
This is the
hard option, but you don't have to do this
mildly
one.
unsafe options that you can choose if you would like. All right, last but not least.
Hit us.
All right, I gotta pull it up. It's just this one blew my mind. I'm not gonna lie. Okay.
Oh, great.
Deep breath. My ex-wife has terminal cancer and she wants me to get her pregnant so she can, quote, experience the gift of being a mom. We had an amicable divorce. One of her biggest life goals was for us to have kids, me too, but it never happened while we were together. I recently gave her a visit and she told me that she wants to experience the gift of being a mom before she passes away. She won't make it to see our hypothetical child be born, of course. Of course. But she said she wants to have the experience of being a mom and that it would make her life feel complete. I'm shocked to say the least. I can understand where she's coming from to a degree, but it also sounds a little insane to me. Ding, ding, ding. That's your guilt and sadness and survivor's guilt showing up that you're even fucking considering this.
Wow.
I don't know if even possible, how pregnancy will affect her, but she told me not to worry about it. I told her I'll consider it. I feel selfish for even considering it. I think having a child / being pregnant would be intentional and not just something to cross off. However, I know I can't fully comprehend what she's going through.
Can I just say really quickly that I think people entertain these ideas. I'm being a little bit tongue-in-cheek. People entertain these ideas because of A Walk to Remember and like movies that like show like you supporting somebody like no matter what through their like illness.
You think so?
Yeah. I think that like we think that's what like.
I wonder if he's thinking like, should I just give her what she wants because there's no real consequences for me because she probably won't even get pregnant. I personally.
You think he just wants to hit it again?
I was like, is this just a soft launch for her to be like, fuck me one last time and me?
Yeah, like let's have a moment again. I want to feel close again.
It is just kind of odd, right?
Yeah.
I think it's selfish to the ex-husband.
Yes.
Because I think that
it's putting him through emotions that like
it's and it ties them together while she's dying in a way that they wouldn't be tied together because they had an amicable divorce.
Yeah.
I think it's really fucked up to the husband, and I think if you were really serious about this that you would probably go to a sperm bank, and you're not. So what's going on that you're just like trying to loop him back in? And I'm not having judgment because like maybe this is the person you really want to be around in your last days, and maybe you really want to share this experience with him, but like
this ain't it. I
don't even think it's because it's wrong to the baby, but there is a part of me, there's a slight part of me that's like, what if this baby lives and it's fucked up. Like, are you in like doing chemo? Like, can your body even support this? Like, it's just the slight chance that the baby would live or that the baby would even be conceived. I don't even think it'd be conceived, but
No.
the slight chance the baby would be conceived is like, I wouldn't risk it. Speaking of really light subjects, I had gotten back from therapy and Rachel was like, I really want to talk about this news story that was popping today. I didn't have any media for it or anything, but
No.
Rachel wanted to bring it up, and it's relevant to Palestine. And
Yeah, I was looking for some media, but it's kind of triggering. Like they're like blurring out
well, first
videos of
tell what it
somebody's
is.
getting their body burned. So, yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, there was a news story that came out that a young man, and I'm forgetting his name,
I'll look it up.
self-immolated, which means that he set himself
got
on
it.
fire.
Okay.
He died by self-immolation.
Immolated.
And he immolated. I've been seeing immolation and immolated, but outside of the Israeli embassy, or U.S. embassy, Israeli embassy, I'm forgetting, and set himself on fire and was actually shot at by the police as he was setting himself on fire, which I thought was really interesting. And there's photos and video of them like.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did. It was horrible.
Can I put up the picture?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trigger warning.
Yep. Just give me 1 second.
Go ahead.
And he was a serviceman. He was in the army, and that's been drawing a lot of attention because that's kind of taking a stance for an American. And the thing that has been coming up a lot, on Twitter and online, is folks are talking about mental health. Obviously, like, was he mentally ill? Kind of like, can we take this seriously? If he was mentally ill, is it still a stance? Or
he was tweeting about it prior, though.
He was talking about it a lot prior. He made it clear what he was going to do. He had a whole kind of, I don't want to say manifesto because that has certain connotations, but I think something like that.
The connotation is mentally ill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was mentally ill or not. I could not set myself on fire. I don't have that in me. I don't know a lot of people who do. It's definitely taking a stance. A lot of people were kind of vouching for his character, people who personally knew him, who worked with him afterwards, like the things that he was dedicated to. It sounds like he already had a lot of kind of repentance for kind of the things that he had to do while he was.
This is what I said to Rachel off camera. I was like, he probably, I wonder if he's like repenting for what his participation in what the U.S. has done to the Middle Eastern brown people.
I think so.
Yeah.
By taking this stand.
That's what he said, I think, essentially.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, like not about brown, but he was like, the things that I have kind of done or the things that our country has done in the name of democracy or freedom or what, he's like, I can't live with this. And he was like, me doing this to myself is just a fraction of what the Palestinian people have had to go through, which I thought was, I just got chills just because it's intense.
There's often people who come home that have like had to commit murder or atrocities, and some of it in self-defense, some of it because they're being told to, whether or not you can rationalize around the fact that like, yo, I did this to save the person next to me or because I had to, and so it's not my conscience or whatever. Like, plenty of people come home and then they have nightmares about it. They have flashbacks about it. They're like terrified. They're like struggle to get through the day because of
just reintegrating into society is hard.
They don't feel a part of society anymore.
Right.
And so we like slap a label on him, right? So like the interesting thing about the immolation is that if he went to a therapist, that therapist would probably have diagnosed him with something because he's like, you've had enough time to process this and move past it and reintegrate into the world, and you haven't had to. So you haven't. So something's wrong. Or if maybe they were like a more educated therapist, they'd be like, well, this changed your worldview and I don't think you're mentally ill and you see the world differently now. It just really depends. I don't think most therapists have the skill set to do that.
No. Well, because most therapists don't deal from a systems perspective.
Right. But I just thought that was, when you brought it up, I was like, I didn't know much about it. I looked it up when you said it and I was just like, this is...
It's just, it's like another layer to the whole thing. It's like a very individualistic layer to how this war is impacting people.
Yes.
Which I thought was really interesting, especially somebody who's like significantly tied to like U.S. empire and like would be a beacon of kind of like American hope normally, and he was like it ruined his life, kind of, it sounded like.
Do you think that there's any people in this conflict who were like, you guys are all anti-Semites and are feeling differently now but don't want to admit it?
Yes.
Now that it's been months of
Yes.
this happening and that like we weren't lying, that they wanted to wipe those people
Yes.
out?
I know people who change their mind.
No doubt.
I'm not hearing. I've
I'm
yet
not
to see
hearing
loud posts online about people changing
they're
their
not.
mind and being wrong. I've yet to see any accountability.
What's sicker is people doubling down on the other shit still.
Anyways, Amanda Seales went on a Relationship Restored, and she did her real love scenario, and it was really interesting because first of all, she did all Palestinian colors and a kafah. Shout out to you.
Pew, pew,
Second is that it was really interesting because she read the fuck out of Rachel. Like, I was watching this and I was like, this is Rachel's in the future. This is Rachel's auntie. This is Rachel's whatever. Like,
feeling read. I was talking to the screen, texting Javae like she's getting my life.
and one of the things that she coined was she has smart woman, dumb girl syndrome, which is basically like she's intellectually really smart. She's successful in her career, but she's dumb as fuck with niggas. And I was like, that's Rachel. Rachel, the smartest girl I know. Smartest girl I know. And she'd be hanging out with all her friends who are also smart girl, smart woman, dumb girl syndrome. And I'd be having to pull her aside like, so just so you know he's cheating on blah, blah, blah. And he's blah, blah, blah. And
like,
this
yes,
is the
I know,
game.
I
This is
know.
how niggas play.
This is not it.
And she's like, no.
Because my body knows. But it's because my body knows and I'm trying to give the fucking benefit of that, and I need to stop. I need to stop giving niggas the benefit of the doubt because it's never the benefit of the doubt.
Why are you leaning on the benefit of the doubt?
Because it's literally how I was raised. I remember in middle school and high school, I would hang out with friends.
Mm-hmm.
I have such vivid memories of this. And we'd be hanging out with guys. And I would say some shit that I just saw. I would just name shit. That was fucked up. Or why would you say, like, I would just say shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I would get direct feedback from the women that was inappropriate, that's not how you talk to men, that's not what you do. You can't talk to people crazy like that. And what I realized, I wasn't talking to people crazy.
No.
I was just being like, why would you talk to her? Like, I was just saying shit.
They wanted you to be easy. You got a lot of feedback to be easy.
I was ruining the vibe. I was ruining the mood. And so I just shut up. I was like, oh, well, I must not know. I wasn't raised around like this type of shit. I must be out of pocket. Or they'd be like, that's that white shit. Like, you just say whatever. And I'm like,
we had really interesting opposite experiences because I was really like brought up or like treated as respectable or whatever because I had a lot of men in my life, like adult men, and the adult men in my life would praise me for being like masculine and having masculine qualities. And so they would be like,
only my dad did that.
They'd be like, oh, I really respect the fact that like I can tell you this really hard shit and you're not crying or you're not emotional or you'll go toe to toe with me in this argument or you'll do this thing. So my like experience with men is like that they applaud that. And I think you and I are like in super different places because like I wanted to be respected and you wanted to be desired.
And I wanted to be liked. I never had friends.
Well, and desired. I mean, my men too. Like I was like in a space where like being respected was more important to me than being desired.
But I always had desire. I wanted to be in with the girls.
You didn't always have desire. Not before high school.
Not before high school.
You made friends at the same time you became like
Desirable.
somebody desirable.
That's true, but I think like
and you
being
were
desired
boy
was
crazy.
a given. But it was a given. Like having friends wasn't a given. So like my dad might have given me feedback or even about like being a boy to him or like kind of having like masculine characteristics or how he liked that. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I want to be close to my dad. And then I got to a point where it wasn't cool anymore to act like that. Like it was cooler to act like a girl, like a little girl.
And I think we're different because I've always had, like I have like a very strong male friend group right now. Never slept with any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've always had male friends and valued like
mm-hmm.
men respecting me.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently you wanted women's respect, like, or like female friendship respect. And like part of that was like, don't fuck it up for us or make it weird for us when we're with men.
And I think my dad responded by being prouder of me that I made the switch from being like a little tomboy, like wanting to do boy shit, wanting to like, I literally would want to go like just do boy shit. I played on a boys basketball. Like I just wanted to do boys shit. And then like I got more praise for like kind of growing up.
Oh, and being feminine and stupid.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing about Amanda Seales that I thought was really interesting is she brought up this like dating men who never liked you.
Read me.
Read you, but also read me. Like I dated one person who for sure didn't like me, and I didn't know it at the time, but I think back on it and they didn't like me. And like, what do you think it looks like to date men who don't like you?
I think when I thought about it, because I like did like an inventory, I like went through and I was like, how do I really think this person felt about me? And I think that they liked the idea of me.
Mm-hmm.
I think they liked the idea of me with them, like what it did for them or to them or how it made them look. And I've gotten that direct feedback from like other men, like, well, yeah, he liked being around you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you're beautiful, you have whatever, like,
Mm-hmm.
why wouldn't he want to date you? But it had nothing to do with who I was. It had nothing to do with my thoughts or nothing to do with anything.
But that's
like
not
substance.
disliking you.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, how do you
I
guys
actually-
define not
But
liking?
she doesn't think that he
Yes, she did. Well,
he
okay.
didn't like anything about her.
Okay, well, this is really awkward because the person you're talking about, I actually think really disliked you, and I can name a lot of reasons why I think they disliked you. So maybe that's weird because I'm the
No,
outside person.
No. I think he like this person, the main person, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he ever liked me.
But I think he actively disliked you, is what I'm telling you. I don't think he just was neutral.
Now
on you.
now looking back, I think he did dislike me because of how much he was trying to stamp out from the beginning that I think about now. Like there were little cues that I was getting of like things just weren't okay about me.
What do you mean
off the
stamp
bat.
out?
Like snuff out like sensitivity or
Yeah, I
like,
literally
things
when
like
I
that.
think about the reason why I thought about Rachel so much is that like her significant partner, the things that were quote wrong with her that he was accepting and they had to work through were her personality. Like that's literally what I remember. Like
Yeah.
I remember him being like,
Yes.
"You're too compassionate,"
Yeah.
and that bothers me.
You're trying to be a good person too much.
Yep. No, it was
Holy shit.
your compassion bothers me, and I think it's fake.
Mm-hmm.
That you don't like me. I think you're indoctrinated into mental health like that's a cult.
It's my job. And like I
And I
love
chose it.
And I chose it and I love my work and all that stuff. So
And you need mental health training.
You don't like me.
I'm saying the other guy.
he used to say that him having an undergrad in psychology degree and not liking it and not being interested in it was the same as me getting a master's in
As-
social work and being a therapist and loving what I do and loving the material and all that stuff and
Holy
thought that he might know the same as much as me.
Wow.
And I don't even mean that in terms of like education, just like
Intellect.
intellect. And I just used to go at him of like, you don't even like what you're talking about. So like, you're like, there's no way that you're like reading thing or you're just not consuming the stuff that I'm consuming about it.
He
So what are
also
you
like
talking about?
didn't like your political views.
Yeah, he definitely thought he thought I lived in a box, which might be true in some ways. Like maybe I do live in a little liberal box, but I like it here.
No, I actually
You
don't
live
think
where
you're.
you
I think
live.
you're pretty radical left. Actually, when we talked off screen, and
Yeah, I am.
like, how you feel is how you feel. But like, he also was very left. He was just left in a different way, and was like, "You're stupid because you don't think about the world the way I do."
He ended up being like a red pill guy,
A what?
like a red pill, like
That's one of the least shocking things you could have ever said.
What's a
I
red
know.
pill guy?
That's
the
I mean, I know it's from
incel.
Matrix, but like,
Can
what
you
is- oh,
explain?
incel.
I don't know how
Yeah,
to-
yeah, I can.
I don't have
So
language
it's
for it.
Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
It's like the
That's all I
women.
need to say.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
gotcha.
Okay.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's all you need to say.
He struggled with you like being outspoken at times.
Or like doing things that like I just
Mhm.
wanted to do, or I would get punished for it like after the fact.
When I think of the ex that didn't like me, he was used to being the intellectual in a relationship and the logical one, so he would like do fuck shit, and then he'd be able to like have a lot of self-control in the moment and be the logical one after, and like look at how you're behaving. And he could never suck me into that, so he fucking hated me. He would try so hard to get me out of my body, so hard.
Mhm.
And the thing is like by the time you get me out of my body, I personally am disengaging. Like I'm leaving, I'm walking away, I'm doing the thing. Like my life experience has shown me that like people aren't safe to show your ass and give that level of ammo to. So like if you're about to show your ass, disengage.
Mhm.
And it bothered the fuck out of him. He spent so much time trying to prove that like I was fake calm, that I was fake reserved, that I was fake in control. And it was really annoying because like I would come back and have these conversations and be like, yeah, I was out of my body. But like that wasn't enough. Because he's like, well, you didn't act out.
I'm so
I don't
triggered
act
right now.
out.
Who does
I don't
that?
act out because I'm afraid. Like, I mean, I wasn't saying that to him because he was showing he wasn't safe to give that information to.
Was your boyfriend my mom?
That guy would drag you to the bottom of the ocean if you would have stuck with him.
He wanted to and
Yes.
wanted to drag me kicking
Mhm.
and screaming.
How long were you with him?
I was with him for less than a year. We lived together for a month. And he fucked it up in that month. And I literally was like, I'll just go paycheck to paycheck. And I mean, one of the benefits of growing up broke, I'll just be poor again. Fuck you. Get out.
Yeah.
That is one of the benefits of being
No, it is.
growing up
It
poor,
is.
honestly.
I'll
Like,
do this shit again.
my rent is one whole check. And then the other half of my check is half of it with other bills. That little $650 a month spending money on food and other things, figure it out.
Yep.
Get the fuck out. Like, I don't want to, I can have whatever. I'll be really selective with my money. Get out. Like, I want nothing to do with you. That is like, to this, like, and he was going to drag me to hell because what was happening is that when I wasn't responding, he was upping the ante. And I was just like, I can't. And the worst part was, like, I had a roommate. My roommate moved out. He moved in. Pulled crazy shit within like a month of being there. And I was like, yeah, get out. A lot changed my locks, all the things. But like, I think what happened is that like, he was fucking up before that, but he was playing the game. And then he thought I was like financially dependent on him. So he turned it up, like the dial, the knob or whatever, all the things. Cause he was like, well, she needs me. I'm like, bitch, I'll be homeless before I ever deal with that kind of shit. You're not coming home at night?
Wow.
Yes.
Say my name isn't AD, bitch.
Say my name ain't AD, bitch. You're not coming home at night? Get out. Get the fuck out of my house.
I'm not doing that.
Why do people want, like, if there's something that I don't understand, because I'm learning and going through this, it's the whole thing of in a relationship where the other person is addicted to getting an emotional reaction from you. Like, I just cannot relate to that at all. I don't understand why the fuck anyone would, like, how that fills them up.
Because you don't know. You think it's specific to you. You think it's specific to you and what you're doing, and they've convinced you slowly over time by chipping away at your sanity that you're actually doing something to contribute to the abuse you're getting. That's why.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
And you know what men like to do? I don't know if women do this to you, but what men like to do is they call you cold and heartless when you don't react. Like they're chipping at your femininity and like who you are as a person and how much you care about them. Like
you're detached.
Yep. You don't give a fuck about me. If you gave a fuck, like I
and
remember him. The last night I ever saw him, he like tried to like get into bed and like turn the covers and like cold, like he was gonna turn his back to me and like he hated me and he couldn't even be in bed with me. And I remember like getting up. I literally
drama,
and I don't do drama because if. Like I said, the little sliver I told in my life tonight, I've had real drama. I don't do fake drama. That's one of the benefits of having real drama in your life is you don't do fake drama. So I got the fuck up and went on the couch. Like, we don't have to do this. We don't have children outside.
This place has doors.
This place has doors. It's a 3-bedroom duplex. Go in another room. Like, why are we in this place alone and you're acting like this?
I used to leave. I leave.
I go on the couch. And you know what's the craziest part is like I went on the couch and he was offended.
Oh my fucking God. It's like a woman. I mean,
triggered.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I appreciated it. It was validating. Yes.
That is insane.
Yes.
That is like someone I know.
Yes. Why are you mad? You literally were like...
You just ruined our night.
You acted like you couldn't lay in the bed next to me. Well, he had already ruined the night earlier because he was trying to get a reaction. We had like, I had taken a half day. I had a job where I could like work half days occasionally and it was no big deal. It was like one of those kind of inpatient things. It was my previous inpatient job where they were like, we pay you a lot, but not enough for what you do. So here's some of your perks. Like you can take a half day every couple weeks and we'll pay you for the whole day without PTO. So I had like taken a half day. We went out to this restaurant and he, just started a fight at the restaurant for no reason. He was cheating on me and was like also dating somebody else. So like, that's why he really started the fight because he had to go there and like be with her or whatever. He had moved in and prior to him moving in, we had issues, but not this level of issue because we weren't seeing each other every day. So we didn't have to make excuses to leave, right? You didn't have to create problems in the same way. And so I had to realize it in like the 3 weeks of us living together. And so we were at brunch or whatever, or lunch or happy hour. It was happy hour. And in my head, I had said to myself, I said, I don't care how drunk you get. I don't care what happens. You're going to underreact and you're going to see where it goes. Just underreact and see what happens. Just see what happens. And so I underreacted. And he just kept upping the ante. So we get back to our place. And I also, shout out to me for being a smart bitch, didn't put him on the lease. My gut must have been like, fuck him. I just was like, you can like move in, but you're not on the lease. And he kept upping the ante to the point where I literally looked at him and I was like, what do you have to really tell me? Like, what's really going on? And he starts tearing up because I'm like pushing. Like, I know there's something. I know there's something there. I know there's something behind this. I've known you for a long time. I know something's going on. We were friends before we dated. Like, why are you pulling this bullshit? Like, what the fuck is going on? And he started tearing up and he looked at me and he's like, you almost got me.
Oh, but he turned back into a psycho.
Yep.
Not turned back, still was.
Turn back into a psycho. No, because they come out. They have a moment of clarity. They have a moment of clarity where they come out.
Do you think that was clarity?
Yes.
Yes.
This is why people stay in toxic relationships, because they have these translucent moments with people who are crazy and psychotic, where they have guilt, shame, and remorse, and have an understanding of what's been going on, and then they sit in that, they can't handle it, and they return back to whatever was going on.
Oh my God, shake up with me, bro. Oh my God.
They return back to what was going on. And that's exactly what happened. And that was the night he turned his back to me. And that was the night I went out on the couch, because I low-key slept in this bed for you, bitch. I didn't want to be next to you, but I didn't want to cause a scene. I didn't want to cause a scene.
This roller coaster.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. And he tried to come back that night after all of this. He's like, I'm going to come home tonight. And I was like, I'd rather you not. I have plans. We broke up like 2 days after that because I found his third phone. And that was that. But like, I found out he had someone pregnant. And that was that. But like, could you imagine if I hadn't gone with my gut and I hadn't been like, because what happens is they try to get you out of your body. They try to get you to respond. And then once you blow up, they're like, see? Last but not least is the Love is Blind shit that happened this week. And Clay and AD were definitely on that. My ex is a Clay. My ex is Clay. I was texting.
Charismatic like that.
No. My ex is Clay, and like
my ex is not charismatic.
My ex, he does have charismas when he's drinking. He doesn't have charisma when he's not drinking. Ooh, look at me spilling my liquor while I'm talking. I swear I'm not drunk, guys. I'm just emotional. It's
Slosh.
fine. But like, and I don't want to wipe it if my thing is new. But I'll wipe it after. But like,
it's cute.
Thank you. $20 at Urban Outfitters.
Love that for you.
I always am like, yeah, like every time I dress like a boy, I'm like, I wonder if people think like this is my boyfriend. But it's not. This is just a men's large because I feel like it.
Mine. He's also, when I watch him, how he acts makes me anxious. Did you watch how he was talking to her mom and just like blinking like this? Like,
okay.
Over and over again.
So the first time we see them in the second part of these episodes, Clay and AD, which also shout out to Gabe that he knew who we were talking about and pulled up the right pictures.
Told you I watched that shit.
You're the shit. You're the shit. Okay, so these are just 2 episodes, and also Netflix, you're doing a lot by like dragging this out, because this should have been the last. I thought we were gonna find out what happened. I was pretty pissy that we didn't find out what happened. Mm-hmm. There was one dope episode and one shitty one. So one dope,
the
one
shitty one was shitty because it was more just like processing stuff, like shit that we didn't need to know.
But we kind of did. Like it was like part of the plot. I will give them that. It was part of the plot.
A lot of it, I think, will come up in the
last one.
Well, in the
reunion.
In the reunion, I think.
I agree. So the start
just like how he is just so icky. I'm so sorry. He so bothers me, bro.
Your whole body, you're like crawling out of your skin. You're like, Is it Adam's birthday today too?
Yesterday.
Fuck.
It's
Sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay. Everybody missed it.
I literally wrote him yesterday and was like, you're next. Sorry, it's her brother.
Yeah, it's okay. He'll be okay. You can still tell him.
I fucked that up. Easy got it right. So like Clay, the beginning of this part is like Clay meets her mom, AD's mom, Amber Desiree's mother.
Amber Desiree.
And they like have this lunch. So first things first, he fucking shows up to the lunch and is before he shows up, she's telling her mom that like she planned a really romantic night last night and he didn't come home. She's like, I did this word for word, I did this DIY romantic night and he didn't come home. And I don't know how if you felt like this, but I felt like the second he walked in, the mom was like, "Ooh, I'd fuck him."
Literally,
the mom was like,
texted you.
"Ooh,
No,
baby."
And she says to her at the end of the scene, she goes, I'm glad that you met him in the pods because, like, you got to know his personality. Because if you saw him walking down the street, she goes, it's not all about looking good, but she was eating out of his hand.
Eating out of his hand.
Time.
She calls them the ghetto Barack. She calls them Barack and Michelle, and he corrects her as like, it's the ghetto Barack and Michelle. It's not either. And the thing that really was frustrating for me, so he meets her mom and he starts laying the groundwork for breaking AD's heart in front of her mother. He brings up why he's not emotionally ready for a marriage. He literally is talking about like, yeah, my parents divorced. I want to puke whenever I hear a man say this. And again, you guys heard a sliver of my trauma today, so now you know why I'm such a fucking asshole. But I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Your parents divorced?
And they were married for 25 years.
But was it a good marriage if he was cheating?
No, it was a terrible marriage. He said he was like, he cheated 7 years in. And I was like, nigga, he was cheating the entire time.
He
was
never
cheating
stopped.
before. He never stopped.
He brought you into it 7 years in.
Right. You found out 7 years in.
You know what I just realized? The reason that you guys have this reaction is it's like watching a horror movie where like the woman's about to open a door and,
that's what we
like,
said.
Don't
That's
go
what
in
we
the
said.
fucking door.
We've been in the story. I know the storyline. I know where this goes.
Every time he goes, I'm emotionally unavailable, let's go to therapy. I'm emotionally this, let's go to therapy. I'm not ready to be with you, let's go to therapy.
And she was all giddy. She's like, he put together such a cute date night. Which is so gross.
The thing that was interesting about the mom, though, and this is why who your parent is so important, is that the mom was pretty much telling her, like, that's a man. Like, you just, men be nervous. Men be this. Just pull it together.
She said, I've never heard my daughter say, I would follow him.
I heard that too. But more importantly than the I would follow him is the notion that like she knows this. You're telling your mother, this man that I've known for less than 6 months doesn't come home at night, and she's going, nobody's perfect, work it out. That is more impactful than anything Clay could do.
I'm so glad you're here, Mom. She got her mom's stamp of approval. She's not going anywhere.
Not only that, but her mom said her mom was being like, I taught AD all these things. And then when Clay goes to the bathroom, AD basically says to her, like, thanks for big upping me in front of my nigga, which was really sickening because it's continuing the narrative that I'm watching, which is that AD,
he's making her feel smaller.
Well, AD's like, if I'm his piece, he'll marry me. Like, that's very clear what it is. Like, he's saying things that deserve for you to not be his piece.
If it's
that
the right thing, for the right woman, I'll settle down. If it's the right thing, I'll make it work. I gotta just buckle down.
But then
buckle down.
But he's also saying it is the right thing because he's like, I don't want to disappoint you. I don't want to let you down. And he's saying without saying, I know I'm gonna cheat on you while we're married. And I know it fucked up my mom. I don't know if I got that in me. And she's like, well, I don't need our marriage to look like other marriages.
And she tried to set a boundary in the last episode.
The second to last episode.
Or in the one before this, I meant. Like, she said, if you're not going to marry me, I'm not going to date you after. Do you believe her?
No.
I don't either.
Not even a second. She was, so, you know what's so funny? Is the way she was setting that up was, she kind of does, no offense, what you do, which is like, there's so much padding, it's actually unclear when you deliver the bullet. Mm-hmm. So there's so much padding before the bullet. The bullet's there. It's what really matters, which is I'm not going to marry you. But there's so much padding before the bullet. People are like,
it softens it.
I call bullshit. It's
I'm
not
going to
a
let
real
you
bullet.
just brutalize me until I say no.
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
Yes. Like she's like, I'm okay with the fact that you're saying I'm going to be okay if you say no to me at the altar, which bitch, no, you're not. And that's fine. Fuck you if you say no to me at the altar. You shouldn't have got on the show and you shouldn't have proposed to me if you weren't ready. And that's what a real bitch would say. But she's trying to do that. And I've done it before. We've all done it. She's trying to do the, like, he's afraid. She's trying to buy into the lie he's telling her, which is that he's afraid. And that if I just am smooth enough and easy enough, he'll dive in and realize when he's in it that it's worth it.
Never works. Never.
I am disgusted. Oh, by the way, a little correction from earlier. You said that you didn't know if he had it in him. He knows for a fact he's got it in him. What he's trying to do is just pad his
Which part in him?
cheating on her. He's got
No, marriage. He's for sure cheating. He's already cheating. He's not coming home. He's
okay,
not coming
no.
home.
I thought you were saying that he didn't have it in her to hurt her or whatever.
He's saying to her word for
He
word.
knows for a fact he's gonna hurt her.
He goes, he was trying to lie. I don't know if he was lying and say he never watched Love Is Blind before this. And then so this is the conversation they had at the kitchen table.
Yeah, right.
He goes,
you went on a TV show. You never checked it out for once online for free.
Do the white little
bullshit.
So
and then he goes, yeah, I actually felt.
You guys do that again. Sorry.
I actually felt embarrassed. He goes, I felt embarrassed when I watched those shows because those men were ready for marriage and I'm not. I felt embarrassed when I watched them because those men knew what they wanted and I don't. I don't think I'm mature enough for marriage. And she goes, baby, I don't want their marriage. I want
You can't help these people.
She can be helped.
I can't. We just like scream at the TV. Like we're like, what is wrong
What are
with
you
you?
doing? Her body is T. Face card is valid. What are you doing? He's fine, but he's not the son.
He's
He's
continuing.
not that fine. Like he's good looking. But
I don't think he's
He
that
has
fine.
charisma, charm. He's well dressed, and the best part is for her is you can sense that he's the elusive guy. He's the guy that women try to tie down,
which he knows
that he can't tie down. They can't tie down, and she's falling into that. She's too concerned with. And I've been her to the T, and I'm guessing the thought process, but the thought process is if this doesn't work out, I don't want the reason to be me. So I'm going to be perfect during this. And that's been me. I'm going to be perfect during this because if it doesn't work out, I don't want it to be me. I'm going to give it my all.
I'm going to do
I'm
everything.
going to be his piece. I'm going to do all the things because if it doesn't work out, I want it to be because of him, not me, and I want to have no regrets. And that is not going to soft pad the rejection.
And they both talk about their sexual chemistry a lot. I'm like, she's trying to fuck the shit out of him all the time so he doesn't fucking cheat.
I'm actually disgusted with myself that I used to be 15% him. You know what I mean? Just like
more
the
than
whole
15%.
thing. Probably.
Well, he's doing the really soft.
By 15, I mean 50.
He's doing the thing that's really hard for women because we often are told by society, like, oh, men are just dumb and don't know what
They're not dumb.
They don't know what they're doing, and they're stupid, and they're careless, and this is carelessness and thoughtlessness, and men don't think things through, right? And so she's looking at the fact that he can name what's wrong with him as a plus and not thinking about the fact that he can name it, but he also accepts it, which is a problem.
Even worse, right?
Which is a problem. He's accepted it. That's a problem.
Which is what Amanda Seales talked about, which is something that you and I talk about a lot, I think, is that men think that acceptance is is like the end to emotional intelligence. Like the action part feels like they're like betraying themselves or they're like, this is my grown man self. I don't need to evolve more. Like,
I am who I am, and I'm going to find a woman who accepts it, which is true.
Well, they think it's evolved that they can call out that they know what's wrong with them.
But then he's doing the breadcrumbing of, like, I'm going to work on it because I'm going to go to therapy. And if they were to get married, which I actually think he's going to say no at the altar, I do. But if they but if they were to get married and it failed, she's going to hear for the rest of her life, I told you that's where I was at. You knew there was a risk. You knew where I was coming from. And
my dad is
That's the part,
she's going to have to eat it, which is bullshit. Bullshit.
Monstrous, Monstrous. And I'm ashamed that I did a part of that.
Do you just not feel nervous when you watch him interact, though? Like, he's not real.
I don't feel nervous. I feel irritated because I'm like, she's like, what, 25? She's not old.
No.
And I'm like, I feel frustrated because I feel like it's right there.
It's right there.
It's right there. And she can't see it. I'm actually not mad at her for not seeing it. And I actually...
But he doesn't even seem genuine is
what
I'm saying. He seems disingenuous to me.
I think that if you, on the surface, wanted to buy into him, he's genuine because he's saying things that most men wouldn't say out loud. That's why he comes across as genuine. He's saying things that most Black men wouldn't say out loud. I'm scarred from my parents' divorce. I have personal work that I need to do. I know I might be the problem in our marriage. all the things.
And she's not used to hearing a black man say that, so she's viewing it as really evolved, you think?
I think, or hopeful. I don't even know if she's seeing it as evolved, but I think she's seeing it as hope. Like,
He could
if he
get
knows
there.
what's wrong, he could get there. Because the logical conclusion is if you wanted to work through your shit, you would, right? But the reality is, and this is why women fuck other women over all the time, is that there's plenty of non-ADs that would take him in his current state.
And would you guys say that, and this might sound really ugly, but I'm just going to, whatever, but is it because she's not pretty enough for him?
They consider her to be very pretty.
Gorgeous.
She's,
But I'm saying in his mind, you think, like, why does he devalue her?
he
I
devalues,
had that thought. I'm not gonna lie.
but he's also being open about like having sexual chemistry with her, whether that's because like their sex is good or not, I don't know, or he likes how she looks, but he's doing all the things to set it up for, I really like you, and you're not the reason I'm ending this. It's because I can't do marriage. He's setting it all up to be like, I can't do marriage. And by the end, she's going to feel like she convinced him, even though he fucking signed up for this, said he was ready, and put a ring on her. And that's the mind fuck.
He literally signed up for the experiment. And he said, I signed up to see if I could fall in love.
And then didn't believe he could fall in love sight unseen.
And he was like, and you proved it. And she was like, I proved that he could fall in love.
We're having a lot of empathy, but Twitter is not.
No.
Gabe, will you pull up the tweet?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
you're
sitting
good.
there like waiting, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think his trauma is while I pull this up?
He told
He
us.
said it. It's his parents getting divorced and his dad being a cheater.
Okay,
Asada,
okay, you
Maya,
actually
Angelou,
believe it?
Audrey, her
Yeah.
name just pissed me off.
I do believe that his dad was a cheater, but I do believe, but I don't believe that. I don't think it's, my personal belief is I don't think his dad being a cheater was trauma. I think it's a value. And I think his value,
Misogyny.
I don't think he necessarily values being a one-woman man, but I think he's internally conflicted because how it fucked with his mom.
Patriarchy.
Yes.
And so I think he's having like this conflict of like, I don't really want to be a one-woman man, but like the pinnacle of...
God damn it.
Now she's drunk.
No.
No, she's not actually.
I probably
She's not.
The pinnacle of men is to be non-monogamous, but I also am like feeling guilt and shame because I know that that's not beneficial to this woman who I bonded with, and I actually feel shame that I'm fucking her over.
Do you think that cheating chronically is abuse?
It depends on the recklessness of the cheating, but there is a part of me that's
By recklessness, you mean like
physical safety and
like
all of the-
STIs, things
all
like
of
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's abuse.
I don't know. I it's so hard because
It
like
is.
so many men I know are like doing it thinking they're getting away with it. Like, are you doing it? I don't know. It's just really hard.
Yeah.
I'm just really hard. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's awful. I think it's terrible.
It's harmful.
I think it can be abusive. But the blanket statement makes me a little bit uncomfortable because I'm like, I think a lot of men, and this, I wholeheartedly believe this, that a lot of men would cheat their entire marriage and stay married till the day they die.
Yeah, if they
And,
ever.
and,
Oh, of
and,
course.
and honestly wish their wife doesn't find out.
Yeah.
Honestly. And
I-
so
yes.
like that's a big, because
Yes.
then there's the sect of men who's like, I low-key want you to wonder, hope, agonize over if there's a third woman.
They like
And I
it.
want that to drive you crazy. And that's fucking abusive.
Keep
And
it
I-
honest.
Yeah. And it's a lot.
Mhm.
But
Yeah. All right. So tweets.
tweets. Look at this on the website. I'm excited. Look at this
Can't
little
lie,
camera
let's see.
angle. Killing it. Look at our producer. You want some shit like this? Go to NBC Studios.
Period.
Over AD, she presents herself as this intelligent and no-nonsense woman, but can't spot the bullshit in her face. This will not end well. Love is blind. She literally checked another woman for being trash. It's giving the smart woman, dumb girl syndrome of like she can see everything 2020 except her because the way she checked the other woman was spot on. She did some grimy shit to another lady and she was like, you pull some grimy bullshit and don't try to swerve out of it.
And the other girl tried to like pull it onto her by like my feelings and this and that. Bitch, you know what happens at the end of this. You knew what you were signing up for. You knew that somebody was going to get engaged. It wasn't you. You back up.
Precisely. Like it was so appropriate the way she checked her. It was very subtle.
She came at her like a friend.
Oh, 100%. She came at her like a friend. And so I'm like, but it's that like smart woman, dumb girl syndrome.
And
You
the
don't
oth-
know in the moment.
And the other girl didn't know. I think the other girl backed off because she didn't know if she was going to snap on her. or
Yeah.
not.
She thought she was going to be in on it.
Yeah.
Follow him to where AD? Hell, because you had said the mom said, like, she said she'll follow him.
Girl, run
Girl,
away from this man, please.
Please. I think the scene with AD's mom has me in shambles. More of her, please. This is wisdom personified. I totally disagree with that tweet. I think it was not. Something else is coming up, Gabe. Okay. I was like,
see it.
okay, cool. I was like, I think it's not.
Threat detector.
Not wisdom personified. I think it's fucking bullshit. And I think what she was telling her is like, be stable.
Internalized misogyny. Internalized patriarchy.
Yes, be stable, be steady, and you're gonna get what you want. And that's not true.
It's also just what people tell Black folks, Black women in particular, is just be this, just be what, like, just hold yourself, and
Do you think
good
there's-
things will come to you.
You think there's this unspoken thing in the Black community where like we don't believe in Black men?
Yes.
I think so too.
It's infantilizing in a lot of ways.
It is, because I think like, oh, well, on paper he's great, and like you might have to be patient while he cheats and figures it out.
For the
is
Black-
how I felt.
for
Like
Black
Black
women-
men can't have it all. Like you should be grateful if you're Black, if your Black man has some of the qualities.
I once worked at a restaurant when I lived in Chicago, and the wife of the owner, we were just having kind of girl talk, and she was like, Mary,
Sorry, I have to pause you. My
Okay.
sister AD, you think Clay would be the bottom of the cliff to catch you? He won't even come at night.
he won't even come home at night, honey. He's
And
not
that's
coming.
the fact that she's like, she's acting like I'm holding on to this because at the end of the day, I know he's solid. Bitch, he ain't solid.
He's not solid.
Solid
shit.
in what?
Like Charmin. Solid like Charmin. Okay. Solid like a baby's poop. Not.
Oh,
But they I forgot what I was gonna say.
Sorry, I cut you
No,
off.
that's okay.
Oh, AD, oh no, baby, what is you doing? I'm so sorry, but Clay is an absolute L.
He's a no, honey.
And
No.
you cannot take on your parents' problems. Do you believe him that he's taking on his parents' problems? Because I don't. I don't
No.
actually believe that.
I don't know where that narrative. I think her mom said that. Like,
No,
he's
he
taking on-
said it. He said it. He's literally
His
saying.
mom said, "Don't take on your parents."
Yeah.
problems."
His mom said, don't take her mom. Both of their
Her
parents
mom.
are like, don't do it. Because he's saying the reason why I don't know if I can be in a successful marriage is because of my parents' marriage. And I call bullshit. I call bullshit.
He doesn't want to be married right now.
I don't know if I can be faithful because I don't know if I want to. And that's it. That's the one. That's the two. That's the three.
I don't-
80's mom is amazing and saying all the right stuff.
Jesus.
No. But 80's mom is not right. No.
Where's your
No.
baseline?
Mamas
No.
be knowing.
No.
Wow.
All right, I'm done.
Yeah, no.
Last but not least is the other trash ass couple, Chelsea and Jimmy.
I could barely make it through their scenes.
It was really hard to watch Chelsea.
It was really hard to watch Chelsea.
So I pulled this picture up because it's really relevant.
Which one
because
did he fuck, you think?
The one on the left. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. The one with her titties out? Or no, the other one.
I kind of thought it was the one.
I thought it was the one without the titties out, but now I'm like, am I dumb? Is it the one with the titties out?
It's the one with the titties out.
So
Yeah.
Of course it's one with the titties out.
Well,
Well,
the other, I can't remember if the other one had her titties out and it's just the angle.
Because who goes like that to meet somebody's girlfriend?
Well, because you're on TV. That's
That
why.
too.
That changes the dynamic because you're
It
trying to be
does.
hot on TV. So that's why
True.
I'm like, But so she meets these friends and like they're really a side character in the whole thing. I think you brought them up last time, like they were gracious and they were.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also been the female friend, and I think I'm a unicorn in that sense of like I really was that female friend who didn't fuck them.
Mm-hmm.
So like people were like,
And he was irate that she outed his friend's business.
well, so wait. So basically what happens is they show us Chelsea and Jimmy meeting Jimmy's parents. Jimmy's parents are all on board, and you can literally see in Jimmy's face that it's like swayed him.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is gonna be the thing. Like my parents love her, that's it.
Mhm.
And there's like white lies, but they're normal white lies. Like they're like, are you guys fighting? And she's like, we fight, but not really, which is normal. Like you're not gonna go fucking tell your parents, especially on
Mhm.
TV, like
That
we're
you're
having
having it out.
knockdown, drag out fights. Like that
Yeah.
makes sense, right? So it shows them have this like very like connecting moment, and then it shows like fast forward to like a couple days later, cameras are there. Jimmy's like sharing, they're having this like intimate moment. Jimmy's like sharing like basically on camera how much he loves her. You never loved her more. And she's like, yeah, but I was pissed at you. And come to find out that he like went to a friend's birthday party last night for an hour and a half. And an hour and a half sounds pretty accurate because she never denied it during the argument. And they get in this big blowout argument where she is like describing that she doesn't want to be with a person like this, which is fucking wild because he literally is like, I was gone for an hour and a half. I had one drink. Like, I spent more time driving than I did at the thing.
Right.
It was my friend's birthday. I showed up, whatever. And he calls it out so well.
Yeah, he does.
Towards the end of the argument. It was so funny because I was
crossing
watching
my boundaries.
No, it wasn't that. He goes, you're fishing.
Yes.
So he calls her out for doing this tactic while they argued, and I never heard a man say it so well, but he basically is calling out the fact that while they're arguing, she's throwing out different theories and hypotheses that she has to see if he confirms them. So she's like, I feel uncomfortable with how much time you spend with your friends. I feel uncomfortable that Jess was there. I feel uncomfortable that Mackenzie saw you.
And all of it. Were you texting your friends all day?
You've been texting your girlfriends all day. And it's all to like,
go to him.
What are you giving me? What are you giving me in these moments? And he's peeping it and picking up on it. So
and he's
like,
getting way calm.
He's like, you're going fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, the most triggering thing about their argument was that I'm often Jimmy. I'm going to be honest. I'm often Jimmy. People are saying wild things. I'm thinking wild things. I'm going to be honest. I'm thinking wild things, but I'm not saying them because I have a lot of self-control. And they say something offensive to me, and I'm trying to pin them down. Like, did you really just say that? Did you really just say that? And they're using all these tactics and talking about all these other things. And I'm going, did you really just say that? And it's because, like, I want an excuse to bow out. And I'm pissed, right? I want to, like, cling to the fact that you're wrong so I can bow out of this. And that's what he was doing. The thing that was disturbing about what she was doing is that it didn't really feel like she had a real goal aside from being right.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel like there was
You could
one?
see, no. That's what I was literally thinking. You could see on her face her going, like, stick to it. Like, she was, like, doing that thing. Like, if I back out of it now, I'm going to be wrong. If I back out of it now, I'll be embarrassed. Or I'll have to, like, do something. And
she just starts accusing him of things. And throughout the whole entire conversation, she comes across as so insecure. She's saying she doesn't believe he loves her.
It's
She
really
doesn't
sad,
believe
actually,
the
to
things-
watch.
Is it?
Sad. I mean, it's not, I don't feel sad for her, but I'm like, oh, you feel like shit about yourself.
Well, all of this comes out to find out that somebody else saw him out and she felt embarrassed because other girls texted her like, what's your man doing at the bar without you?
Which is weird.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, if that's not the most petty and insecure response to all of this, like, that's the real concern. The real concern is that, like, you got embarrassed. Were you even concerned before you got embarrassed?
Right.
Can I
It
make a
sounds like
white
no.
woman graphic? Like that is such a white woman fucking thing to do, by the way.
Which part?
The whole like calling and going like, just like, and to say it really passively.
It's a woman
like,
thing.
Yeah, it is.
You think so?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a woman thing. It's like they're not your friends.
Yeah.
Right.
They're trying to
No, not
embarrass
at
you.
all.
They're trying to embarrass you.
Mhm.
And she got embarrassed. And instead of being like, fuck those bitches, she got mad at Jimmy. Because, like, it'd be different if what they had to tell her was significant, but she had no significant ammo. And he literally said that. He was like, tell me what they said besides that. And she had nothing.
And it sounds like they lied. They said that Jess was there, and I don't think that Jess was there.
And then when no, I don't think they lied. I think Chelsea lied. And then when she got backed into a corner, she lost logically. This is why I'm so glad I'm a woman, because men can't do this. She just cried. She just cried. I'm like, the ultimate I lost this fight is I'm just crying.
Do you know how many times I've caught myself hugging the woman who's crying and like where I'll catch myself go like, no, I'm not fucking sorry here, but I'll start saying I'm sorry. It just pisses me off.
She'll say, I don't think you love me. I don't think you do all this. And then he's like, you really think that? And she'll switch to a new tactic.
He kept on trying to nail her.
Jimmy's me. Jimmy's me. Like, I've been with a Chelsea and I'm like, pinpoint it. Say the thing. Say the thing. And there is some toxicity in what he's doing. And it took me a long time to realize this because he's not a Chelsea. But there's toxicity in what he's doing because you internally know that this is off and this is tactics and you need to catch her in a lie. Just trust your gut.
He needs a reason.
Just trust your gut.
He's like, she's perfect in all these ways. I'm like.
So then they show us them again a couple days later. And he comes back and pulls some dramatic bullshit where he's like, I want to end the relationship. And then I picked this picture because this was the fight where they were fighting about him going out. And like, the article posted this had her fucked up. You see her in the left corner up there, fucking
talking at his ass,
livid. So you can tell with his body language and action, like, I'll leave if you continue with this. So he comes back.
He's like, I just introduced you to my parents.
He kept saying that over and over again, which is like your pride. Because like you're close with your family, so what?
It's such a
What's the worst thing ever? She met them one time and
It's
then she
such a
showed
guy
her
thing,
ass.
literally.
Fuck it. Who
Literally.
cares?
Who
You have to
gives a
eat
fuck?
shit? Who cares?
I think that's a guy thing.
Probably.
Yeah.
So then he comes back days later and is like 2 or 3 days later. And I think he'd been there in between, but they hadn't processed the fight. And he comes back and he's like, I'm done with you. And she literally has to make 5 minutes of conversation and then he's ready to try again and then all in love. So they're both on bullshit.
Yeah.
They're both on this like really dramatic, like who's going to have the power, who's going to be less invested, who's going to be less
Love me
grabby.
more. Love me more.
And then the thing that was really surprising to me is we have this barbecue where he meets Jess, the hot one, and she meets her triangle. I forgot she was in a triangle too. They both meet their other triangle, and I thought they were pretty
Travis.
respectful.
I actually thought Jess was pretty respectful.
I thought everyone was
No,
respectful.
I thought that Travis was trying it a little bit.
Is his name Travis? I don't think Trevor.
Trevor. I thought that Trevor was trying it a
Oh,
little
sorry. I don't give a shit about Jess and him. The people in the couple were respectful. Jimmy and Chelsea were
yes.
respectful.
No, I
which
thought
was
so, too.
surprising to me because I thought he was immediately going to be on Jess.
I thought so too.
I thought he was immediately going to slide into them.
And for a second, I thought he was going there when he was like, no, I thought you were this and that. And then he switched to being like, but these were the things that showed me that you weren't that person. So he actually had like he allowed himself like the full range of like, no, I did have feelings for you. No, you were my number one.
And I'm
then-
attracted to you. He didn't say
Yeah.
that to her, but he said to the cameras.
Mhm.
Like, and it was actually surprisingly in a respectful way because he was kind of like, I don't know how to act because AKA I'm not trying to demonstrate anything appropriate or inappropriate or be showing I'm attractive.
Mhm.
And I thought Jess was pretty appropriate. But I also thought Jess was fishing and didn't get what she wanted. I feel like as a woman, you know if they're in it or not.
She
You know if
backed
they're
up.
about it or not.
She backed off because he wasn't giving her the cues.
He wasn't giving her any.
He wasn't
any
giving her the
cues.
go ahead.
No.
Yeah.
Plus, she got the poison out already by saying, you're going to lose your fucking breath when you see how ugly this bitch is, basically.
She brought that up.
He's so tuned in. I'm fucking crying.
She brought that up, by the way.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, yeah, and I mean, I was just
Called
really
her
mad. That's why I
Kardashian.
brought up the EpiPen or whatever, blah, blah. Like,
Mhm.
I think she had embarrassment around, like, she showed her ass,
Yeah.
which she should, because that was
It made
rude
me
as
fall in
fuck.
love with her.
For
For real, because the EpiPen thing was really clever.
You
like that
shit. But
He kind of fucked up when
Do
he said
you
that she's the
think-
smartest person he's ever met.
he did, but he didn't, because I don't think that's real.
Okay,
Are-
that's true.
Nothing about that feels real. Some random girl you met in the pod's the smartest person you ever met.
He's like a lover boy,
Choke
low
on,
key.
choke on dicks. Like,
He's
you
a
literally
lover
were pissed she
boy.
didn't tell you about her kid. Like,
Yeah.
stop.
Here's a thumb.
I forgot.
If-
He is a thumb.
Yeah,
If
stop.
there's-
He just said he had to find something to say that wasn't you're hot as fuck. And he
Yeah.
found it. Last but not least, this is the last question before we tap out. Who is more off, Jimmy or Chelsea?
I mean, my gut says Chelsea.
Why?
Probably because she showed her ass more and because...
How did she show her ass more?
Probably the needy and all that stuff. But my caveat to that is I think that's like my own internalized like stuff.
What do you mean about the needy? I want you to expand.
The way that she was showing up like in the fight that we saw, she was like...
Needing what?
She wanted more validation. She wanted more reassurance. She wanted more like, you're not here. She wanted more. It sounded like she wanted more time. She didn't want to be with a party boy, kind of all these different things that to me sound like, and it's not that they're not valid. Those things are like okay needs to have in the world.
But they weren't reflective of their relationship.
They weren't reflective of their relationship. And it sounds to me a lot, and I think a lot of women have this. I've had this before of like, you're just listening to what other women want. And so you think that is what you're supposed to ask for in the relationship. Like you're kind of measuring what you want in the relationship by what like the standards of everybody else. Like your man shouldn't go out. Well, does that mean ever? Like just is an hour and a half okay? Like, yeah, that's okay. Like there's probably a myriad of things that are actually okay depending on the relationship. And she's just like giving it all these rules that are, it looks like she's on a pole.
I actually completely disagree, and I think that she actually has really unrealistic viewpoints and tries to wrap them into the social norms.
You don't
It's the
think that's-
opposite?
You don't think it's a social norm?
I don't think it's a social norm to not want your man to go out. No, I think that's weird as fuck. Actually,
I think it's weird as fuck. But I think that most women actually don't.
I disagree. He went out for an hour and a half. I think most women would be jumping up and down that their nigga came home in under 2 hours after they left.
No.
No.
Yes to the time. yes to the time thing, but I think most women actually are pretty put off by it. They don't like. I don't think that they want it for real.
In my experience, people want to control people.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
I don't
Mhm.
care because I want to go out. An hour and a half ain't shit, and like
Please leave for an hour and a half. I might get something done while you're gone.
Yeah,
I really
you're
like
don't
more
care.
secure
Than most people.
But I
I guess so.
But I
For
think,
real, because
but I think that
like,
most
every
women.
woman.
That's what I'm saying. Like I want to leave for more hours than so. Like who am I to like? It just doesn't matter to me, and I like to go out and have fun, but. I think for most women that would be a problem. She really, and I think she knows. You can see her in her head being like, "Yeah, an hour and a half isn't long," but she can't back off of that point because she doesn't want a party boy. I think that's really how most women think. My man doesn't go out. I told you I didn't want a party boy. Like it just doesn't.
She's super concerned about.
By the way, during
appearances.
this entire
She's
fight,
concerned about how it looks.
only one person is intoxicated, and it's her. By the way,
and she said it. Yeah,
and she says it in the next episode. Like, yeah, I was drunk off dirty martinis.
I don't like.
So
the
you're
thing-
literally intoxicated, yelling at him for quote going out last night, not getting intoxicated and coming home. Fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here. And the thing that I don't like too is that she kept on saying we both. And I think that was triggering me because I know like the
Okay,
whole
I
No, yeah.
I have to cut you off. I was disgusted. They had their makeup conversation, and she couldn't own one single thing.
thing.
They had their makeup conversation, and she goes,
Well, both of us.
She says everything she did wrong. She goes, but it was both of us. But it was both of us. You did it too.
Oh my
You made me
God.
upset too. I apologize, but it was you too. And I realized, I was like, if the reason why I identified with Jimmy so much in that moment, not overall as a person, but in that moment, is that I wouldn't have been able to let go the you two and us both.
No, I would have lit into that.
We would have gotten a domestic. And maybe, sorry, I don't identify with Jimmy because he let it go. It wouldn't have been enough for me. I hang on that kind of shit. Because what you're telling me passively is you actually don't think you did anything wrong. You actually think it was both of us.
And that's what escalates it. And that's what gets me out of my fucking body because, bitch, you know what the fuck you're talking
And don't say us too. Just say it with your chest, bitch. You acted up. Tell me you think I acted up. Don't say it was both of us because now we're fighting.
And the thing that people will do is like, well, I'm using more inclusive language. No, you're avoiding accountability. You're
Well,
avoiding
and she kept saying
responsibility.
is what I was saying was right. I just delivered it incorrectly. There's no way to nicely deliver. I don't think you love me. I don't trust you. And I'm pissed that you want friends. There's no nice way to say that.
And
So what the fuck are you talking about?
And then she outed the one thing he told her not to say on air.
Yes. So he had slept with one of his friends that she met and the ones we pulled up, and
You could tell it was a no-no immediately.
he had told her off camera. He was like, listen, for the means of transparency, this is who I slept with. It was one time. It was a one-off. That is not why we're friends. It just happened. I told you so you could trust me. And I already put her on the spot by bringing her on camera, so I don't want her on the spot with everyone knowing we slept together. And she brought it up anyways.
And she did some fake shit and said, no, I love her, but I just don't want you around her.
Oh my God.
What does that even mean?
Well, she did the breadcrumbing thing of like he was sharing about his friends, and then she was like, I'm uncomfortable. And then he didn't do anything about it. He thought she was just being transparent. And she was like, that was my cue to you to stop what you're doing. And if you really cared about me, you'd stop what you were doing and cut her off immediately. And he was like, I thought you were just being honest. Like, I thought you knew that was an unrealistic ask.
They're both on eggshells around each other. Because did you see at the party too? She like made some joke about a different couple being like a better couple.
And he was upset.
He was upset.
He's also insecure, but it's showing up differently.
Yeah.
All of that to say, I don't want to be in any of these relationships.
People have been talking a lot about online, like how this show has just like something has to change on the show because it's getting more and more like
I love it.
it's more and more unhinged, which is more entertaining.
It's not more unhinged. That's not true at all. There's been up and down seasons. I think people are like,
no, it's not the
forgetting.
most. I think it's all of them. But the first one was the least amount. People actually made it out.
Cool. There's one couple that everybody loves, and we had one couple 2 seasons ago. Like I think people try to do this thing of like, and like we gotta stop because we're going really long.
Yeah.
But like people try to do this thing of like, oh, it was better before.
You're such a tard.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't better before. It was the fucking same before. It's just that 6 seasons later, you're maybe thinking it wasn't a one-off.
Are they the stars of this show because we like them or because we hate them the most?
Because
We
they have the
hate
most
them.
drama.
Yeah, we hate them. That's why.
Is
a
that
couple-
healthy for our society?
Probably not.
Yes. It's healthy for me because I'm really empathetic all day and I get to get my bitch shit out on strangers.
I like it.
Trash
Yeah.
TV works.
Anyways, we'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.
Where are you?
It's situation.
Where are you? It's the end of the weekend, but I still wanna turn up. Yeah, I still wanna turn up.
MBC. No relation to NBC.